Welcome to On Point for College's Utica Celebration 2023, presented by Adirondack Bank. What is On Point? It is a college attainment program helping students get into college, achieve success in college, and find careers after graduation. Since 1999, On Point for College has helped more than 4,000 students earn more than 5,000 degrees. It breaks down barriers that prevent young, underserved individuals from education and career success. Transforming communities by making college, training, and career success a reality for those in need. Today, we'll celebrate education, service to your community, overcoming obstacles, giving back, and reaching your potential. Please join me in celebrating these amazing students. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the On Point for College Utica Celebration 2023. I'm Gio Harvey, and I'm so excited to be here. Today, I'm going to share with you stories of other students like me whose lives have been shaped by the wonderful program called On Point for College. On Point for College helps first-generation students overcome the barriers to higher education. They support students at every step along the way, from application through graduation and beyond. They empower students to fulfill their dreams and achieve their potential. If at any point during this program or afterwards, you would like to learn more about or contribute to On Point for College, you can do so at onpointforcollege.org. Now, on to the event. Our first story is brought to us by Herkimer College. It features Luis Patrice, an immigrant to the United States from El Salvador. Luis balanced working full-time with pursuing his educational and career dreams. With On Point for College's help, he earned an electrical service technician degree from Mohawk Valley Community College. Today, he has a successful career at Pursuit Aerospace, which was previously known as Withcraft.
My name is Luis Patrice. I graduated 2020 from MBCC. I'm currently working at an aerospace company as an electrical service CNC technician. I always like building things. And then I got this opportunity to work for this aerospace company. They gave me the chance to do electrical work. They saw my skills and they promote me where the position that I am right now. Now I'm just like talking to the engineers, trying to make my way to that position, to that level. I was doing great back home in my country, on school. I was doing technical high school on general mechanics and was looking to become a civil engineer. I did get a scholarship to go to university back in my country, but then my mom wanted me to come to this country. I gave up my career back in my country to come to this country for a better opportunity for the American dream. But I didn't have a way to go back to college. First of all, because I didn't know the language. I was gonna start going to bosses when I got my brain tumor. Once I got to the doctors, they told me that this tumor was serious. It was a medulloblastoma tumor. My brain surgery took 9 hours and a half, but they couldn't get it all out. So they referred me to Mass General, where specialists were, so they could take care of my brain tumor. Once I got there, they explained what this tumor was and trying to make sense and why did I get it. They told me the chance to be a normal person was very low. I could lose my vision, my balance, I could lose the capability to remember things. I took chemotherapy for 8 months and also took radiation treatment for 2 months. And that was hard. That was hard to get through. I was helping out my family doing construction, but I wasn't actually learning anything educational. Since I went through a brain tumor, I wasn't trusting myself to be capable to go and get a career. So 10 years after my graduation from high school, On Point reached out to me and said, "You should go back to school." I was always on the quiet side, but On Point showed me that there's people in need of help emotionally. These people, they need someone to actually trust them. So the first thing that On Point did for me is trying to convince myself that I was capable of going back to college. I did lose at least 30% of my capability to learn new things, but I still got 70% that helped me out to get to a college. On Point showed me the way and actually explained the way to get to the higher education. Paperwork, registration, and financial aid. They did all that for me. So when I saw the opportunity to go for an electrical degree, I just took it. There's people out there struggling to get a job, and On Point has a big impact on their life, saying, hey, you're capable to go back to college, get a degree or certification on something, and now you had the chance to be a better person and do better things in your life. Didn't have much myself to share. I do my best to try to do something for the community. And now that I get the opportunity to do more in success and help out the community, that's just what drives me to keep going.
Wow, what an amazing story. This story really gets at the root of what On Point is all about. Being there for students at the beginning, but also throughout their college careers and beyond. On Point was there for Luis at every step along the way. They provided help with college and financial aid applications, career advisement, even scholarship applications. These are just some of the things On Point does for many of its students every single day. Our next story, brought to you by JP Morgan Chase, features Mona Lisa Tun. Mona Lisa faced numerous challenges along her path to a college degree, but with On Point's help, she graduated from Mohawk Valley Community College and the University at Albany with degrees in public policy and management. Today, Mona Lisa is paying it forward as an On Point for College Utica advisor.
My name is Mona Lisa Tunt. I graduated from UAlbany in 2020 in public policy. I'm a college access and success advisor at On Point for College here in Utica. I graduated in 2020 and I have to say I was very fortunate because it was during COVID and a lot of people lose their job, but I was able to work with workforce development and work with MBCC that helped me get into the roles of being advisor for students. As a college advisor, our work has to do a lot with helping them to go through the college process with college application financially, but I put myself into it. I wanted to know that my students are important to me and I'm there for them whenever they need me. It feels very rewarding, especially when I get to help students like myself. I was born and raised in Thailand refugee camp called Mela Refugee Camp. It is located between the border of Burma and Thailand. There is a civil war in our country. I believe it's the longest civil war in the whole world. Our people are getting killed from the Burmese military, and that's why they have to flee the country. And parents moved to the refugee camp, I believe, in 1988. That when the military coup is. I was there until I was 16 years old. And so I moved here in the United States in 2012 with my family. Our family are struggling because we started here with zero. And I remember my mother actually has to walk over to her workplace. That took her over like 1 hour just to get there. So basically it took her 3 hours just to go to work. When I first got here, it was very difficult to learn another language, especially in high school, because I was put in regular classes and having to learn that new language and new education system with American students, it was very difficult. But I had a very good teacher, very wonderful people that I met in high school, and I'm still connected with them today, and they helped me get through the classes. I was lost actually when I graduated from high school. As a first generation college students, we don't have that advice from our family where we should go or what we have to do, but On Point is there. I remember I met with advisor. We sit one-on-one. He helped me navigate what my passion is about and what I really wanted to do, and helped me through the college process. This program helped me throughout my college career, starting from my college application, financial aid, until now. And when the opportunity came at On Point, I know that I had to take this opportunity because I know how impactful On Point is. I believe that every single underserved student deserved a chance to a high education. They have a potential of doing wonderful things in the community. And I just wanted to be that same person that can maybe make a little bit of impact on someone's life.
Man, Mona is incredible. She is so committed to helping others, and now she has a job at On Point where she can continue to make an impact. I'm glad she was able to turn to On Point to be her support network, to help her navigate challenges, and connect her to resources and services both on and off campus. That's exactly what On Point is expert at, being the hub with all the spokes reaching out in all directions. I remember when I first joined On Point, they were so helpful in connecting me to the services and resources I needed, both on campus and out in the community. They even helped me get a driver's license. How cool is that? If I tried to list all the ways the team at On Point helped me out, I would be here all day. But that's what's so unique about On Point. They meet students wherever they are, whatever their needs are, and they pull out all the stops to help them. In case you're feeling inspired, you can help On Point change lives by getting connected or making a contribution at onpointforcollege.org. Before we return to the show, let's take a moment for a few words from our presenting sponsor, Adirondack Bank.
Hi, I'm Michelle Belso, Vice President of Marketing for Adirondack Bank. Adirondack Bank is proud to be a sponsor of the On Point for College Utica Celebration. We are honored to support the wonderful work of On Point for College. And we are passionate about empowering the education and career dreams of students in our region.
It's great to have the support of a partner like Adirondack Bank. They're so committed to education and to seeing success in the communities they serve. They're just like On Point in that way. It's a perfect synergy. For those just tuning in, I'm Gio Harvey. Today, I'm sharing inspiring true stories of On Point for College students and graduates like myself who are thriving in the Mohawk Valley community. One of my favorite parts of every celebration event has always been the awards. So without further ado, let's get to it. First up is the Campus Angel Award. This award is given to an individual at a college or university who has gone above and beyond to help On Point for College students overcome challenges and empower their success. This year's award goes to Mohawk Valley Community College's Director of Opportunity Programs, Selena Billins. Selena has been an amazing On Point for College partner, working to help ensure that our MVCC students have the resources they need to be successful. Next, we have the Foundation of Hope Award. This award is given to organizations or individuals who have partnered with On Point to positively impact our students' lives and communities. It's our pleasure to present this year's award to John and Jackie Romano and the Fountainhead Group. John, Jackie, and the Fountainhead Group have been amazing partners for On Point for College. They are committed to helping our students achieve their dreams.
John and I, as well as the Fountainhead Group, are honored to receive the 2023 On Point for College Utica Foundation of Hope Award. We love partnering with On Point for College to forward students' educational and career dreams.
We look forward to welcoming even more On Point for College student interns and graduates as members of the Fountainhead team. Thank you.
Next, we have the Dreammaker Award. This award is given to organizations and individuals who, through their leadership, investments, and collaboration have helped to make the educational and career dreams of our students come true. I'm delighted to present this year's award to Syracuse Orthopedic Specialist Chief Executive Officer Michael Humphrey and the Humphrey family. Mike is a Mohawk Valley native and a member of the On Point for College Board of Directors. He has been an advocate for and supporter of On Point for more than a decade. Together with his family and friends, he helped launch the On Point for College Utica Golf for Grads tournament in honor of his parents, Mike and Mary Humphrey. In the 3 years this event has existed, it has raised nearly $150,000 to support Utica area students. Congratulations to all. The Career Services Award recognizes individuals and organizations that have gone above and beyond to help our students and graduates realize their career dreams. This year's award goes to Senior Vice President and Chief Operations Officer of the Manufacturers Association of Central New York, or MACNY, Mike Frame and his colleagues at MACNY. Way to go, Mike and MACNY. Last but certainly not least is the Make a Difference Award. This award is presented to an individual whose work with On Point has made a difference in the lives of our students. This year's Make a Difference Award goes to Frank Duras. Frank was instrumental in bringing On Point for College to Utica and has served on the On Point for College Board of Directors, chaired the Utica Steering Committee, and helped countless On Point students throughout his work as Mohawk Valley Community College's Executive Director of Institutional Advancement and as the Vice President for Community Development at the college's foundation. Congratulations, Frank. Wow. All of these community leaders and organizations have played such an important part in advancing On Point's mission of transforming the lives of our students. Congratulations to all of this year's awardees, and thank you all for your support. If any of you would like to learn more about giving back to or volunteering with On Point, you can do so at onpointforcollege.org. In the meantime, here's Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield Regional President Eve Vanderwall to talk about her experience as an On Point for College volunteer.
Hi, I'm Eve Vanderwall, Regional President for Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I'm honored to join you today. The work performed by On Point for College to break down barriers to education is vital to the success and well-being of our communities. I've had the privilege of working with On Point students in various ways, including being a mentor, and I continue to be impressed by their remarkable achievements. The message I always share is if you continue to challenge yourself and take advantage of opportunities for education, you can achieve your goals. Congratulations to all those being recognized today. And I'd like to encourage everyone to explore the many rewarding volunteer opportunities at On Point for College, where you can help students reach their full potential.
Now back to the awards. Our final category of awards goes to our graduate stars. These are On Point students who have graduated and embarked on careers or, in many cases, advanced degrees. They are passionate about their communities and giving back. Our first graduate star is Mohammed Adam Dejuma, an immigrant from Sudan who earned an associate's degree in criminal justice from Mohawk Valley Community College and a bachelor's degree in homeland security from the University at Albany. Today, he works for the University Police at UAlbany, helping others every day on and off the job. Our next graduate star is Crystal Lynn. Crystal graduated from Hamilton College with degrees in biochemistry and Chinese in 2022. She has been active in refugee assistance programs, documentaries, and at the Midtown Utica Community Center. As a student, Crystal helped coordinate the donation of computers to help other On Point for College students. Today, she is a research associate at the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard. Our next On Point star graduate is Tan A. Tan graduated from Proctor High School in 2015, from Herkimer College in 2017, and from SUNY Poly with a degree in Health Information Management in 2020. Tan is an active volunteer in the Karen community and helps individuals with disabilities through her work at Life Plan Utica. Our next star is Howard Peters, who balanced working full-time with parenting her 4 children and working towards her nursing degree at Mohawk Valley Community College. She's the founder of Utica Royalties, a non-for-profit which provides educational and cultural programming for immigrants and African American youth in the Utica area. Our next star is Aku Sur. Aku Sur is a Karen refugee from a family with 10 children. She came to America from a refugee camp on the Thai-Burma border. Aku Sur graduated from the Utica Academy of Science Charter School and Houghton College with a bachelor's degree in psychology in 2022. She became the department's first female Karen officer when she graduated from the Utica Police Academy in 2023. Our final star is Ifra Hassan. Ifra received the prestigious SUNY Chancellor's Award in 2018 when she was a student at Onondaga Community College. She went on to graduate from SUNY Binghamton, earning a bachelor's degree in integrative neuroscience in just 3 years. Today, she is enrolled in a post-baccalaureate pre-medical studies program at Washington University in St. Louis. Wow. What an impressive group of graduates. It makes me so proud to call them a part of my On Point for College family. On Point for College really is like one giant family. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from, they welcome you with open arms. Our final story, which is sponsored by Adirondack Bank, features On Point and Harvard University graduate Hilda Jordan. Hilda is the founder and CEO of the anti-racist social equity firm HMJ Consulting, where she works with the Utica City School District and other individuals and organizations to empower the most racially, economically, and socially vulnerable members of our communities and organizations.
My name is Hilda M. Jordan. I graduated from Proctor in 2015. I graduated from Harvard in 2019. I'm currently the founder and CEO of HMJ Consulting. I remember hearing about Harvard for the first time, and folks told me Harvard's where smart people go. And I was like, well, I'm smart, so I'm gonna go to Harvard. And that was literally it. So school became my safe space and also just my path and journey forward. Before I became a DEI consultant and a founder, my plan was to be a lawyer, to be a civil rights attorney, fighting discrimination the legal way. I wanted to prove to people that folks like us who grow up in low-income backgrounds, that are people of color, that may not be generationally educated, are still some of the best people, and that if we work hard enough, we really can succeed. I was born in New York City. My mother was born in the Dominican Republic. My father was born in Panama, but I never really grew up with my dad. So my mom is a single mom, worked 2 to 3 jobs growing up to make ends meet. My mom is the daughter of farmers, the youngest of 10, right? So we're coming from generations of very humble beginnings. So college and education was that way forward, right? That was the only way we were gonna change our reality. My junior year of high school, I got into the Harvard Summer School program, and this was my dream come true. I got the golden ticket, the access point to Harvard, but they told me I needed to come up with $7,000 in a week if I wanted to go to the summer school program. But I didn't give up. Organizations like On Point were super responsive, and the city of Utica literally fundraised $10,000 in 4 days for me to go to the Harvard Summer School program. I think about the cost of education and not just the ticket price, the little things like bedding, clothes, computers, books, travel expenses. On Point for College covered all of that for me. That experience changed my life, right? It showed me the power of community when people believe in someone. That really led me to always wanting to give back to Utica in a certain way. And so when I got the opportunity after graduating college and doing consulting work in undergrad to really teach other students how they can have their own I'm possible dream come true. It was literally my dream come true. Even though I came from these humble beginnings, I really tried not to lead with that. But one thing that I really appreciated about On Point was normalizing that for me. When I was on college campus, I was still working 20 hours a week. And then coming back home during breaks to work full time. My mom's had a lot of health problems throughout my life, which also motivated me a lot to work hard and to do these things for her. Saved enough money, and the first thing that I did with that is I'm like, Mom, we're gonna go buy a house. I have the down payment, you have the work history, I have good credit, let's go. I remember we went to the signing, she literally started crying, and I was like, wow, you've done this. It was a moment of immense pride, and I think it's been one of the proudest moments of my life. Just seeing her sit back in a space and feel secure, it's priceless, truly priceless. Because of On Point for College, I feel empowered to share the story of success with other students. Because of On Point for College, I truly believe that first-generation college students are gonna make it, and that there's someone who always has their back, regardless of where they're at or what they need. And I have that confidence, and I share my story, inspiring other students to do this. Because On Point for College is there, and I know they'll always be there to support kids like me.
It's so great to see On Point graduates like Hilda becoming leaders in our community and beyond. When I first joined On Point, I had no idea how many of my fellow students were immigrants or refugees. On Point has been working alongside these populations almost since the beginning, at least since the Lost Boys came over from South Sudan in the early 2000s. On Point helps so many different kinds of people, young, traditionally college-age people, and older people looking to go back to school, people who have children or who have been involved with the criminal justice system, people who live with their families, and people who have been a part of the foster care system. They also work with people from both urban and rural communities. In fact, On Point actually serves the 6-county region of New York State. Anybody who lives in Cayuga, Herkimer, Madison, Oneida, Onondaga, or Oswego counties, they're all eligible to join On Point for College. And you wanna know what else? On Point for College is free, like 100% totally free. All you have to do is reach out and sign up. It doesn't matter if you have a plan yet, are still exploring, already in school, or even thinking about going back to school after having already started, they'll work with you. And they've already worked with thousands of people from our community. I think at any given time, they're working with about 3,000 students who are currently enrolled in college or some other type of certificate or training program. And they're able to do it because of some really generous people help them out. On Point for College receives support from companies, foundations, community groups, and even regular people, just like you and me. And there's a ton of ways to help. On Point accepts donations, they have events like the golf tournaments that people can attend, and they even take volunteers. It's amazing, really, what a powerful impact individuals can have on a program like On Point and the lives of students like me. Volunteers, donors, without people like them, the incredible work On Point does just wouldn't be possible. As an On Point for College graduate, I have to say thank you. Just thank you. I so appreciate having had the opportunities made possible by On Point's generous supporters. And before I pass it off to the man who's been at On Point almost since the beginning, employee number 2, I just wanted to say thank you to my audience. You have been wonderful, and it's been a pleasure to share your time today. Now, on to Sam.
Hello, I'm Samuel Rouser, Executive Director of On Point for College. Before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to announce one final award. Congratulations to On Point graduate Gio Harvey, who is the co-recipient of our Make a Difference Award, alongside Frank DeRoss. Gio is a graduate of Fulton Montgomery Community College and SUNY Poly. He's currently enrolled at the University at Albany, working toward a master's degree in communications. In addition to emceeing our annual Utica Celebration event, Gio has been a steadfast On Point for College volunteer and student recruiter. He is also a co-founder of the New York State Educational Opportunity Program Students Ambassadors Program, helping strengthen the program and connect students with helpful services and resources. Way to go, Gio. Thank you, audience, for sharing your time with us today, and thank you to all of our event sponsors, especially Adirondack Bank, Herkimer College, J.P. Morgan Chase, Mohawk Valley Community College, SUNY Polytechnic Institute, and the Bank of Utica. At On Point for College, we measure our success by the success of our students. Our goal is to ensure that On Point alum complete the program feeling empowered, with the credentials to help them achieve their goals, and ready to become contributing, engaging members of our community. The students and alumni you met today are just the tip of the iceberg. Investing in On Point for College is investing in their futures and the future of the Central New York and Mohawk Valley communities. We encourage you to learn more about the On Point program and to get involved at onpointforcollege.org. With your support, together, we can build the next generation of On Point for College success stories. And remember, at the end of the day, we always keep it on point.